1980's Maniac. Summary for this movie: a psychotic man, troubled by his childhood abuse, loose in New York City, kills young women and takes their scalps as his trophies. Will he find the perfect woman in a photographer and end his killing spree?
I don't know.
Stay tuned.
Directed by William Lustig, known for the Maniac cop films and 1996 4th of July themed film Uncle Sam.
Well, since we're on him, I just want to go ahead and say, William Lustig. He started in adult movies.
Oh wow!
Then he ended up working at Anchor Bay, and now he's the guy that runs Blue Underground.
Oh, right. There you go. Written by C.A. Rosenberg and Joe Spinell, who plays Frank Zito in this movie. Do you have additional details?
Tagline: "Run from the man." Distributed by Analysis.
Is that it?
That's what I got. That's what's on IMDb.
Wow.
Distributed by Analysis Film Releasing Corporation, and this was just released. It's been on Blu-ray before, but the Blue Underground Lustig released a 3-disc edition in 2018. New 4K restoration, 7.1 sound. It looks and sounds great.
Now, did you watch the little kind of sequel?
I haven't watched that.
It's real short. It's like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Evidently, Spinell was going around just telling people they had jobs. Like, you're going to be in my next movie. You're going to be in my movie. He was so upset by the backlash this movie had, because they had like booths set up outside of theaters for this, where you go in, just pay a quarter or whatever, check out like scenes from the movie, like a smut type thing. And women went crazy, and they started protesting and stuff, and he hated it because he fucking loves women. He's Italian ladies, man. And he said, I'm going to redeem myself. So he made this short about a child entertainer who's killing abusive parents or something like that.
Well, so while we're talking about Spinell, he was in the Rocky movies, Godfather movies, Taxi Driver. So like this, from here, he went on to do some. Well, I mean, I don't want to like say that this movie ain't no good or anything, but those are some big blockbuster movies.
Gene Siskel left the film before its conclusion because he said the shotgun scene left the film in a place where it could not redeem itself. I don't know what that means. I've seen far worse than that. But the hooker at the beginning uses a lot of prostitution terms I'd like to speculate on. She says a regular, a French style, around the world, and the ultimate.
Yeah, the ultimate.
Now,
$100 for the ultimate.
What do you suppose?
I was reaching for my wallet when I heard that.
I can assume the regular is just like straight regular sex. French style is like head, right, with the mouth, right? You can assume. Around the world, I'm assuming is around the backside, right?
I don't know. Man.
Back in the day, around the world meant everything.
Oh, everything.
So ultimate, I'm trying to figure out what you add to everything.
Yeah, it was confusing. I couldn't think of a fourth level at all. But another thing about the prostitute at the beginning, don't you think she's wearing unwieldy whore clothes? Because like she's got a whole fucking one-piece deal, and she's also got like pantyhose on. You would think you'd want like a skirt or something.
The look on your face is of disgust.
Well, it just didn't make sense. I think that Joe Spinell is a perfect killer.
That's how they make their money. It'll take an hour to get undressed.
They wear it.
Oh, hurry up!
He's like, no, leave him on.
I think the way they utilize the voiceover as a vehicle for his internal monologue gives it a real like Taxi Driver style feel. At the same time, I think they might have done it better here because at some points he's saying stuff to his mannequins or himself at the same time as the exposition goes by. So he's like talking to the little details make this movie like a gem. Like when he's loading his shotgun into the case, he's eating Cracker Jacks and it's like falling down and stuff. The little details. They can help you put the puzzle together about who this guy is. Tom Savini's shotgun death is one of the most memorable scenes. I mean, that's the one thing I remember about this movie. I haven't seen it in at least like 10 years or so. The soundtrack's great. It's got a lot of really fun flangy synth. Where do you think that Frank gets all his mannequins? Those things seem to be like...
It must be, I don't know, dumpster diving or whatever. I mean, he stops at storefronts and really enjoys looking at the mannequins.
I just thought, even nowadays, it'd be hard to... They'd probably be highly expensive to buy them. Or whatever. I'll go with it. The one thing I don't buy is that Frank is charming enough to get this photographer to hang out with him.
He does have it.
He does.
He's able to pull it together for a little bit.
No,
and
it
just
just
seems together. It seems normal.
He seems as normal as he can be, but still, look at him.
He combed his hair and put a jacket on.
I
This
mean,
is like a model.
he talks so smooth without
the glasses.
Girl,
Yeah, how did he do that? Because
he's very smooth.
he's really twitchy otherwise. I really want to know who voiced the young Frank when he has his hallucination at the end, because the voice sounded like somebody that I remember, like a kid that did voiceovers all the time, but there was no credit for it. I looked for about 20 fucking minutes. I'm not sure what they want me to think happens at the end, but I'm assuming he's hallucinating wildly and stabbed himself in the stomach or something, but they had like the mannequins turn into the women. This is a wonderfully dark, nostalgic piece of horror. I think if you haven't watched this before, you have to watch it. It's required viewing. 9 out of 10.
Yeah. It's a dirty, sleazy 80s New York slasher, which New York back then, you automatically have atmosphere. You automatically have a certain tone to your movie. Great music, great score. Soundtrack comes with the 3-disc edition. The effects looks as good as expected with Tom Savini, and his head exploding, it's one of the best that I've seen. And then he goes a step further, which is a little bit ballsy. They play it in slow motion, so you're slowed down, so anything that doesn't look real is really going to pop out to you. And they still do it because it was good. Shot well. A couple of my favorite scenes, when he's in the bedroom, on the bed, he's talking to one of the mannequins, and the camera's moving around the bed, and it eventually gets to his sight line, so where he's staring right at the camera. And as dirty and sleazy as he is, I don't know, when he looked at that camera, it looked like, he's looking at me. I was like, oh. And then it keeps on moving around the bed.
You greasy ass.
What are you looking at me for?
Just like in your seat,
looking behind me, see? The foggy cemetery scene where they're running through there.
Yeah.
You give me fog in a cemetery, it's another just atmospheric setting. I liked it. Good pace, never feels slow. He knocks off a couple girls before the title card even comes up.
Right.
In the beginning, they're happening pretty quick. I think it slows down. He starts kind of playing some cat and mouse games, but it don't take him long. Like, he ends up killing them in 15 minutes or so. So I like the pace of it. I liked Frank.
Hey.
He's
my name's
creepy.
That's what my parents named me.
He's sleazy.
They totally could have.
He's crazy.
I was born in '82, so they could have fucking named me.
He does look like Ron Jeremy. Definitely has mommy issues, but she was a whore. He talks about how there were so many men. So
she'd burn him with cigarettes.
Moral of the story is, women, don't be whores.
Burn your kid with cigarettes.
I like the idea of the mannequins becoming real to him. I like them coming alive. Him nailing on the scalps, putting their bloody clothes on them. I like that part. And his death kit. Like, in slasher films, you either carry around the same weapon the whole show or pick them up as you go, but you never really see everything's nice and neat. He's putting in shells and shotguns.
But he's
and
real sloppy about stuff, though.
I'm just talking about his kit.
Oh, okay.
He's
there's blood everywhere.
He does well with his
Dexter.
One goof that always sticks out to me is the subway scene where she's supposed to be alone. And then one shot, they switch angles, and there's eight or 10 people on the other side of the subway, like, just looking around. I don't know how they missed that, but this is one of the movies that will rotate as my favorite slasher. I give it a 10. Definitely a must-see if you've never seen it. Watch it.
So for me, I hadn't seen this back in the day. I watched it a couple months ago for the first time, and yesterday was actually my second. Much better the second time. I was not a big fan of it the first. I liked it mainly because slasher films that I watch break off throughout the film. You follow characters here, victims, and see what's going on. This movie stayed with him the entire time. You get to see how he lives, what he thinks, why he thinks. It's almost like a documentary style kind of feel to it. I like that. The shotgun scene obviously was awesome as hell. Excluding the people that appear and disappear in the subway, I like that.
The subway,
that scene.
It's good setting.
I mean,
Another
the way
good
they
setting.
set it up, I mean, you could feel
the location,
the fear and the
everything.
dread when that train pulled away and left her
Yeah,
there all her own.
I would never fucking use that ever. If I lived in the city, I'd be like,
Yeah,
guess
hell
I'm
no.
fucking sleeping here tonight, guys, because goddamn that thing.
The ending scene where all the mannequins come to life, his head being pulled off,
That was wrong.
almost as good as the shotgun scene, but
Yeah.
I think it's second.
Savini did a good job with this.
Yep. I think my only complaint was it just takes off. I didn't see much of a script or plot to it. He just goes about. I mean, you find out
almost a
why he's
horror.
doing it, but it took off. I mean, right from the get go. That was the only knock I had, and I gave it a 9.
Well, that's an approved.
Would have been probably 7 on my first viewing.
Yeah, the first time I watched this, I didn't like it as much as I did this time. I mean, I don't know what it is. It took me a lot to get through it the first time, but I think I watched it in not a very good format. It was like not the clearest copy of whatever it was, because this is an old as fuck film.
Yeah.
So for them to restore it really does a lot for it.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
I
It
wouldn't
looks
know.
great.
I saw it on DVD and looked like a VHS transfer.
Oh, that DVD didn't look good?
Yeah, it was not good.